Hi, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you from around the world that's joining us on this session. For those of you that haven't met me yet, I'm Willem de Villiers from Working Well Global and currently based in South Africa. I have this amazing privilege to talk to you guys about gold, and by now, through this journey that you've taken with us at Working Wealth, you know that we absolutely love educating people on finances and their mindset around it, and finding new ways on how to either generate an income or to protect or hedge their money to have future value for that money. And as part of this journey, we talk about two key wealth principles: leverage and compounding. And for this session, I would like you guys to tap into leverage. So other people's time and other people's money. In this case, only other people's time, my time. Because I've spent a lot of time to research all the advantages of gold and why you would want that as part of your portfolio. And I truly believe that after this session, you will never need to read another article or go back to something else to understand why gold is such a great commodity to have part of your portfolio. So with that said, let's get started. I truly believe that there's some distinct advantages that gold has as over all your other investments. And yes, like with everything else in the world, there is risk involved. But the risk that comes with gold or buying gold is so minimal that the advantages far outweighs it. And I must just highlight that for you to gain all of these advantages that gold gives, it is very important you own physical gold, physical bullion gold, not ETFs or futures, because in essence those are just ones and zeros on the screen which can be manipulated or can lose value as the fiat currencies of which you're currently trying to hedge yourself against. So the first main advantage of gold is money. Gold has been a store of value for over 3,000 years. Gold is currently not being used as a currency, but this makes gold even more superior than our fiat currencies because it is truly money. It serves as a long-term store of value, and gold fulfills this promise a lot better than any fiat currency to create a store of value. And this can be seen from this graph that we have on this side. So gold over time has maintained its value, where the fiat currencies in relationship to gold has lost its value completely. It has gone down to zero almost in most of the currencies. So yes, the gold price might fluctuate, but the value is timeless. And wealthy people always look at the value of an asset or commodity and never worry about the price. So this is actually a good test for you to see where's your mindset at. Are you a value-minded person or a price-minded person? All paper currencies, by their very nature, lose value over time because, in essence, fiat means backed by nothing. And then physical gold is one of the most ideal forms of long-term wealth preservation. Then the second advantage will be gold is a tangible asset. So physical gold can be held in your hand. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can hold it, whatever you want to do with it. Real gold cannot be destroyed by fire, water, or even time. So unlike other commodities, gold does not need feeding, fertilizer, or maintenance. Gold has a limited supply, which actually makes it create its own inherent value or gives it its own inherent value, which most other investments does not have. So that's actually a very great advantage. But this summary is actually so powerful, and I would like to read this to you because it says, those that criticize gold because it does not produce an income misunderstand its role in a portfolio. It isn't gold's job to produce an income. Its function is as money and a store of value. This is also why gold shouldn't be viewed as just another commodity. Gold doesn't get used up like oil or corn. In fact, almost all the gold ever dug up in existence still exists. So that is why gold is such a great asset to have. And then physical gold bullion is not subject to risks that comes with paper assets that can be hacked or erased. So let's move on to the advantage number 3. Gold has no counterparty risk. So what that means is there's no contractual obligation that you need to go into for you to actually start getting the advantage of your investment. once you've bought the gold, you've got the value, and your gold is gold. And there's no middleman or any other obligation that you need to fulfill. And to me, one of the cooler things about gold is that gold is the only financial asset that does not simultaneously become somebody else's liability. And then physical gold cannot go bankrupt or broke. Gold bullion will never default on a promise or an obligation. So it's not a case that your renter is going to pick up and leave tomorrow and then you sit without rental income, or some of your staff doesn't pay you, some of your clients does not pay you for the services rendered or anything like that. Then gold is private and confidential. If you want a private or confidential form of wealth, gold can provide that. Gold is one of the few investments that can be done anonymously. Then gold is liquid and portable. So when I say that, a lot of people say, yeah, but it's big chunky gold bars. Yes, if you look at it in that way, but in essence, you can buy gold, especially if you buy from Karatbars International, in small quantities like 0.1 gram to 1 grams, and comes in paper notes, so it makes it very easy to transport and to utilize. But the cool thing about gold is that it's recognized everywhere in the world. Any gold dealer anywhere in the world is willing to give you money, so that's a cheaper way, and also for you to then get into forex. So say I'm here in South Africa and I bought an X amount of gold in rands. I take that over to the United States and I sell my gold on that side. All of a sudden I have dollars, and I didn't pay any forex charges on that. So that's one cool way to look at it. Also, the reason why I say it is liquid is that when you walk into a dealership and you sell your gold, you get your money immediately, and you can utilize it however you want. Stocks and shares, it takes about 3 to 5 days to clear it through your broker. After your broker has paid himself and taken a cut of your money, then only you get your money. Or if you want to sell real estate, then it takes a few months to see that money. And then also Karatbars, which gives you privately owned bullion gold, makes it possible for you to have seamless border travel. So you can go with that gold wherever you want, because it's not sovereign gold. It does not belong to a certain country. You can go with it wherever you want to and utilize it however you want to. Then gold is easy to store and comes with a low maintenance or carrying cost. So if you want to store your gold somewhere, there's going to be a storage fee, but if you compare that to your general maintenance cost of fixing broken toilets, or the geysers, or needing to paint your house every time that a new renter comes in, or your real estate, or the upkeep thereof, then that maintenance cost is very low, or your storage fee is very low when it comes down to gold. But also, if you decide to store it at your own house, gold has a very dense value. So within a very small quantity or size of gold, you have a lot of value. So it takes up very little space when you actually want to store it. Then gold requires no specialized knowledge. It's not a case that with diamonds where you need to know the clarity and the size and the color and the defects and that comes along with that. Or when you are in paintings and you need to know the difference between the real Van Gogh or fake Van Gogh, something like that. So it's just a case that you need to be able to read the stamp if it is 22 or 24 karat pure gold, and there you go, you've got your value, you are happy, and you have it. Then gold can protect against nefarious politicians. So it has happened in the past that sometimes some of the countries get into a financial predicament and the government decides they need somebody to bail them out, so they get into the banks, give everybody a haircut and take their money to pay for the debt the country has. So it becomes the people's problem, no longer the government's problem. And I know you think that's a little bit far-fetched, but please go and look at what happened in Portugal when all those people got about a 10% haircut. Next morning, everybody woke up and 10% of all their money that was in their bank accounts was gone. So yes, that can happen, where if the gold is physical and it is owned by you and it's either in a vault or it is at your house, nobody can come and take it. Unless by force, obviously, but in general sense, you are still in control of that. So then, gold hedges you against in stock market investments. So over time, within certain financial market crashes and poor performance, gold has almost always outperformed the stock markets as a store of value, except for two cases where the stock markets actually outperformed gold. But yeah, in essence, gold was the better one. If you want an asset that will rise when most financial assets fall, gold is likely to do that more often than not. The more common stocks you own, the more gold you need. So that is just to balance your entire portfolio. So if you have stocks on the one side, you need gold to hedge you on the other side. And then also gold gives you portfolio protection in the cases of crisis. So this is what happened in certain periods of systemic risks over history, and you can see how much further gold has then outperformed and maintained its value when people actually and also giving you capital growth when something happens like a recession or market collapse or housing collapse. So, and this point in time where we are sitting in 2020, you guys are seeing what's happening with all the markets in during this coronavirus saga. So yeah, just check it what that stock market does, and gold has just kept its value. So that's the cool thing about that. And then I would just like to conclude everything, or just summarize it is. So firstly, gold is money. Secondly, gold is a tangible asset. Gold has no counterparty risk. Gold is private and confidential. Gold is liquid and portable. Gold is easy to store and has low carrying cost. It requires no special knowledge. It protects you against government intrusion. It hedges your stock market investments, and also it protects you against crisis. So with that said, that actually brings us back to the end of this presentation, and I truly hope that you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to contact us and support if you feel there's anything that I need to add or want to know more about. And then from there on, may you guys absolutely have a blessed time further. And yes, shout out. Have a nice day, stay wealthy, and keep that mind open.